What's good, sports fans? Are you ready to elevate your live entertainment experience? Well, let me introduce you to SeatGeek, an amazing platform that connects you to your favorite events while saving you money. With SeatGeek, you can easily find tickets for sports games, concerts, and so much more, all in one place. The interface is user-friendly, making it simple to browse and compare prices. And one of the best features is the interactive seating chart. You can see exactly where you'll be sitting and how much you'll be spending, ensuring you get the best value for your money. But here's the best part. Check this out. By using my promo code, ChalkItUpSports, you can enjoy a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. That's right, $20 off your first SeatGeek order. Imagine catching that thrilling game or concert without breaking the bank. It's a win-win situation. Plus, you'll be a part of a community of fans who eat, sleep, and breathe live events just as much as you do. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description to download the SeatGeek app today. And don't forget to use my promo code ChalkItUpSports for a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. Get excited. Now let's get back to the show. Yo, what's good? This is your boy, Tone DeShields II. You guys are locked in on your dose of Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, man. I do not take my position for granted. You guys know the vibes. You guys know the energy. You guys know where my body be. You feel me? So let's get into the talk. We can't waste no time here, man. We're probably going to be here for about a half an hour to 45 minutes. I got a tight schedule today, and I want to try to keep it, but I had to tap in with y'all, man. I had to tap in with my people. I couldn't go more than 24 hours without chatting with you guys and just checking the temperature of the fan base, man. Today is Saturday. And we are, 2 days removed? We are 2 days removed. Thank you so much. We are 2 days removed from the Philadelphia Eagles Cowboys game, right? And I got to tell you, feels good to be 1-0. 16 games to go. Hopefully 20 more games to go, if you catch my drift. But I got to tell you this. You know, this Jalen Carter thing, I've been really trying to keep track of it. I've really been trying to lock in on it. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the Za'Darius Smith signing as well. I can't wait to tap into that. But I'm thinking about Jalen Carter's situation, and I was reading an article, right? And I wanted to bring it to you guys' attention because I think it's important. I think it's important that we really try to comb through the situation as efficiently and as quickly as possible. But I was reading an article from USA Today. And the article from USA Today, it was written by Mike Freeman and Jarrett Bell. And per a league official, quote, a suspension for Carter isn't on the table. Now, the league official, they were granted anonymity because the NFL is still currently examining the situation. It's considered an active investigation, right? They're in active deliberation on how to move forward. And we all know the NFL is taking sportsmanship to a whole new level this year. They're taking the idea of sportsmanship, they're putting it at the forefront, right? They're putting sportsmanship at the forefront. And I don't know. It's a fine line between it, right? It's a fine line. Obviously, you don't want guys shooting imaginary guns at the opponent. You don't want guys pretending like they're taking the heads off of guys, but I don't think it's that big a deal personally. I really, really don't. It's sports. It's football is a gladiator sport nonetheless, but again, in this Jalen Carter situation, it's very different. There's a clear difference between pointing an imaginary gun at somebody or doing the whole neck thing versus spitting on somebody. It's very different. It's very different, but nonetheless, I'm sorry, you guys. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. 1 second, you guys. Sorry about that, you guys. I had a technical difficulty. But the word I'm hearing is that Jalen Carter won't be suspended. So let's bring the article. Let's bring the article on the screen here. USA Today is a pretty reputable source. And excuse me. Let's go back to where we were. All right. So, like I mentioned, this article written by Mike Freeman and Jarrett Bell on USA Today. It was written September 6th at 1:45 p.m. or at least uploaded then. It says there has been speculation that Philadelphia Eagles defensive lineman Jalen Carter could be suspended for spitting at Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott. That apparently won't happen. A league official told USA Today Sports' Jarrett Bell that a suspension for Carter isn't on the table. The official was granted anonymity because the NFL is still examining the situation. Now, as we all know the story, Carter was arguing with Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott and spit at the quarterback. He was penalized for unsportsmanlike conduct and ejected. Carter owned up to the mistake, owned up to his error, and said it was a mistake that happened on my side and it just won't happen again. Carter said, quote, "I feel bad just for my teammates and the fans out there. It won't happen again. I made that promise," end quote. And then Dak responded and says he was trolling, I guess you could say, trying to mess with Tyler Booker. Prescott said, quote, "I was just looking at him. I was right here by the two linemen, and I guess I needed to spit, and I wasn't going to spit on my lineman, and I just spit ahead." And he goes, "Are you trying to spit on me?" End quote. And we all know the incident happened after fullback Ben Van Sumeren was injured during the opening kickoff. So we all know it's a disqualifiable. It says here, quote, it's a disqualifiable foul in the game, end quote. Referee Sean Smith told a pool reporter it's a non-football act. The NFL has indicated that sportsmanship is a point of emphasis for the officials. So again, hopefully this is a legitimate report. Hopefully this is a legitimate league source. But nonetheless, Jalen Carter, we're going to assume for now, because again, no official statement from the league has come out, but we're going to assume that he's not going to be suspended. Now, I will also assume that there's going to be a really, really hefty fine for his offense, and as it should, because quite frankly, spitting on people is fucking disgusting. It's disgusting, right? And I think Dak Prescott should be reprimanded somehow, somewhere, because the rules in the NFL rulebook indicate that baiting is a part of the sportsmanlike or non-sportsmanlike conduct. You can't bait people and then when they react to you, all of a sudden you get off scot-free. So, look, obviously Jalen Carter's name is at the forefront of this report, but the reality is we're going to find out. And I think the league, again, based off everything that's come out, the footage of Dak is clear as day. It's clear as day. It's clear as day when it comes to Dak Prescott. I mean, it's as clear as Jalen Carter spitting on Dak's chest. All of it is clear. We saw this stuff in 4K. So hopefully the league reprimands Jalen Carter properly, and hopefully the league reprimands Dak Prescott accordingly as well. Now, as far as Jalen Carter goes, let's be honest about this, right? Dak Prescott aside, because we already know that we ain't even rocking with him. Jalen Carter needs to understand that he's on thin ice with the league right now, and he will be at the bare minimum remainder of the season. He is on thin ice for the remainder of the year, and I think this incident is honestly going to follow Jalen Carter it's going to follow him for the remainder of the year, and you never know, it might follow him for his career. Now he's going to have to really, rebuild a lot of equity with the league and with his teammates, right? I'm sure his teammates are going to move on. I can't even say the teammates, right? But the league, the referees, they're going to be watching him like a hawk for the remainder of the year. And he has to be smarter to understand that you are so valuable to your team. You're valuable to the organization's overall prospects for another Super Bowl. And his talent is so supreme. His talent is so dynamic. You can't lose sight of your value, right? That goes for Carter. That goes for anybody in life. You have to always operate from the perspective that you have more to lose than the next man. Therefore, sometimes it's important to just brush off whatever happened to you. Brush off whatever they said. Brush off whatever you think they said. You can't operate off feelings. You can't operate too much off of emotion. You can't be ultra reactive. Again, he has more to lose. You got more to lose than anybody on the Cowboys. Let's call it what it is. They going nowhere fast. They're going nowhere fast. This is something that's going to follow him for the remainder of the season at the very least. And he's just going to have to lay low. Go out there, play football. Anything you do to flex or anything you do to, celebrate, do it away from the opponent. Do it away from the opponent. Talk shit to a guy with your back to him. Do whatever you got to do to get creative with it. You know what I'm saying? And the Eagles had a lot of penalties, had a lot of unsportsmanlike or illegal, had a lot of weird penalties in that game on Thursday. And Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts, when they broke down the team, after the game, they indicated that discipline, focus is at the forefront. Discipline and focus has to be at the forefront, and I completely agree with them. So, Jalen Carter has to be better. I think he will be better. I think going through a situation like that this early in the season is something that really humbles you. Now, I will say this. If I may make an assumption, and make sure you guys smash that like button. If I may make an assumption here, I want to assume that the league won't suspend him because technically he already served it. Technically, he already served the suspension. Technically. Here's why I say this. He didn't play a snap. He didn't play a snap. They were all waiting for the cart to come off the field. He didn't play a single snap. It wasn't like it happened in the third quarter. It wasn't like it happened in the fourth quarter or even the second. He didn't play a snap. The clock said 15 minutes left, or at least maybe 14:55 or 50. Who knows? He didn't play a single snap. So if I'm the league, I would use that as the acting suspension. They got him out of the game right away. If you suspend him for week 2, now you've basically suspended him 2 games. That's excessive. He's already served it, if you ask me. Give him a big-ass fine, and let's move on. Simple as that. Simple as that. All right. Let's move on to another topic here, you guys. Like I said, we're going to be here for about a half an hour to 45 minutes. I got a tight schedule today, so I appreciate you guys for locking in with me the way you guys have. I want to speak on the Za'Darius Smith trade a little bit more. Oh, I'm sorry, the Zadarius Smith signing. I want to speak on that a little bit more. But before I do so, let me get to your super chats here. I really do appreciate the love and the investment from you guys, man. We have over 300 people tuned in right now. We have 91 people tuned in on X. We have 232 people plus tuned in on YouTube. And you guys have been phenomenal thus far. So I really do appreciate you guys for locking in. It means a lot to me, and it goes a long way. Kyle Kokorski with the $5 super chat says, Tone, I've heard Carter is going to get a huge fine, no suspension. Yeah, man. Hopefully that holds up. Hopefully that holds up, my friend. Number one diehard Eagles fan with the $4.99 super chat says Carter has to learn that you can't let people trick you out your position. Ooh, that's cold. I like that. That's a fact, man. That's a hood favorite. That's a hood favorite. Never let somebody trick you out of position. Don't let somebody trick you out of the money. You feel what I'm saying? Never come out of character for nobody. I like that, diehard Eagles fan. That's a hood classic. That's one of the most prominent hood idioms. Derek Moore with the $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Derek. I appreciate you. He says the two other instances where spitting occurred, the players were just fined by the league and he was ejected. So that should count for something. I'm with you on that. Also, we're in a different time, a different era, and the league is taking sportsmanship to a much higher standard. So although I think he won't be suspended and he'll just get a big fine, I think we have to monitor the idea that the league may try to set an example. The league just may try to set an example. But again, he served the suspension technically, if you ask me. So we'll see what happens in the long run. Alex with the super chat. Thank you, my friend. He says Reed Blankenship and Zach Baun as captains should have grabbed JC before that happened. I mean, you don't anticipate your teammates spitting on somebody. Let's just call it what it is. You don't anticipate that. It wasn't like they was physical. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't put that on Reed. I can't put that on Zach Baun. I can't. I just can't. You know, the cart was out. The team was watching what was going on with Ben Van Sumer, and they were in the huddle. JC dipped off. I mean, you can't keep track of everything. At some point, guys got to be accountable for their own decisions and their own moves. At the end of the day, I can't look at Reed Blankenship and Zach Baun just because they're captains. I can't just look at those guys and say, "Oh, they should have been there to stop JC from doing what he was doing." No, JC should know better than to fucking spit on somebody. And this, and trust me, Alex, this vitriol is not towards you. It's just the idea. It's just the idea. That's all. It's the idea that Reed Blankenship and Zach Baun should have done something about it. Jalen Carter's a grown man. He's a professional. The last thing I'm expecting my teammate to do is spit on somebody. That's the last thing I'm expecting. Thank you for the super chat, Alex. I really do appreciate you. Michael McClain says here with the $2 super chat, thank you, my guy. Always appreciate you. He says Jihaad Campbell's looking good. Dean may lose his job. Dean not getting that job back. He not getting that job back. Jihaad Campbell looked too good. I think Jihaad Campbell was the highest graded defensive player on the team. He's not getting that job back. Now they're probably going to find a way to incorporate both of them on the field. Don't get it twisted, because it all depends on what that pass rush is looking like, right? When the Kobe Dean comes back, maybe they find a way to incorporate him. Maybe they get him back. Maybe they put him next to Zach Baun and they use Jihaad Campbell moving around. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if they find a way to use both of them on the field. The Kobe Dean is still valuable. He's still an asset. He's still a player you have. Worst case scenario for the Kobe Dean, he's depth. He's a backup for Jihaad Campbell, and God forbid something happens, we got a loaded we got a loaded linebacker room where we could just plug and play. Miss Fanny with the super chat says, in my opinion, Dak's taunting is the same as taunting at the bottom of a pile. He was in a huddle. You can't see or hear it. It was camouflage as normal spitting. Yeah, he knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing, but I don't think he thought the camera caught his face. And that's how I know his intention. That's how I know if the camera never would have caught his face, I would have never known his intention. I would have never knew his intention. I would have never knew his intention if I didn't see his face. His face told me everything. All right, let's move on. Like I said, I want to revisit the Zadarius Smith signing. So, as a reminder to you guys, the Philadelphia Eagles signed edge rusher Zadarius Smith on a 1-year deal. And where it's interesting is the fact that Zadarius Smith was already in Philly to sign the contract the same day it came across. He was in Philly immediately. So that tells me that this isn't something that was reactive to that game on Thursday. He signed his contract on Friday, but he was already in Philly to sign it. Excuse me. Think about that, y'all. The game was Thursday night. He signed Friday morning, Friday afternoon. And he was already in the city. So I don't think the Zadarius Smith signing is something that happened because of that game. The Zadarius Smith signing had to be in the works for at least a couple weeks. Had to be in the works. Because remember, going into that game, Azeez Ojulari was a healthy scratch, and Ogbo Oronquo was a healthy scratch. Those are two edge rushers you elevated to your 53-man roster when you made final cuts. When you made final cuts, Azeez Ojulari made the roster. Josh Uche made the roster. Ogbo Oronquo made the roster. You feel what I'm saying? Obviously, Nolan and Jalen made the roster. And we knew Josh Uche was having a better training camp. He was having a better training camp than Azeez Ojulari. And remember, I was high on Azeez Ojulari. I thought Azeez Ojulari would be the person that would that would make the bigger impact rather than Josh Uche. But Josh Uche showed flashes in that game on Thursday, and frankly, the Eagles clearly haven't been pleased with the depth at that position. Azeez so far hasn't really been impressive, according to what we've heard and read. Ogbo Oronquo, similar, not really impressive. Again, these guys were healthy scratches. They elevated Patrick Johnson for that game, as a matter of fact. And you know, Patrick Johnson brings special teams prowess and efficiency. But you watch that game, right, on Thursday, and the Eagles got a lot of pressure. They got a ton of pressure in that game, but they didn't get any sacks. They got some quarterback hits out of the game, but they didn't get any sacks. And that's something that I think Howie Roseman isn't happy about. Because there were moments where, okay, Jordan Davis should have had a sack, but he didn't get it. Close but no cigar, right? There was moments Nolan Smith and Josh Uche and Jalen Hunt, they had got contact. They got around the corner, but Dak got the ball out just in time, right? Let me see here. Let me see if I can find some stats for the Eagles here. Give me 1 second from that game. All right. Yeah, I mean, they got pressure, but they didn't get home at the end of the day. And I think when you lose Josh Sweat, you lose Brandon Graham in the offseason, you're losing guys that can get to the quarterback. You're losing guys that have pass rush prowess. And, we expect Nolan Smith to take another step. Nolan Smith has to make a bigger impact. We expect Jalen Hunt to make a bigger impact as well, but they need more there. And the Zadarius Smith signing wasn't something that happened overnight. They felt for quite some time that position needed to be fortified. And I know some people brought up Zadarius Smith, as a matter of fact, and I'm not mad at that move at all, because Zadarius Smith is a guy that's been productive no matter where he's been. Zadarius Smith is a guy who's 6'4", 270 pounds, prototypical for the edge rusher position. He's a professional pass rusher. In 2024, Zadarius Smith played in 17 games, had 9 sacks for Cleveland, 8 for he played in 17 games, 9 games for Cleveland, 8 games for Detroit. He registered 9 sacks total and 17 quarterback hits. In 9 games for Cleveland, he had 5 sacks. In 8 games for Detroit, he had 4 sacks. In 2024, he also played 618 total defensive snaps. He played 327 snaps for Cleveland, which was 58%, and he played 291 snaps for Detroit, which was 60%. So he was pretty healthy all year long, and he started in 16 to 17 games. So when he was in Cleveland, when he was in Detroit, he became their starter. And a reminder, Detroit, they lost Aiden Hutchinson last season. So he came in and provided much-needed support at that position, and he was productive nonetheless. So like I said, everywhere he's been a productive player. And the entire season, 2024, 9 sacks, 17 quarterback hits. He comes in a rotational role. If he comes in and gives you 20 to 30 snaps a game, that's remarkable. He comes in and gives you 15 to 25, 20 to 30 snaps. I like that. An older player with experience, veteran leadership. He's a pro, a professional pass rusher. You bring him in rotations. He's constantly fresh. I like what that looks like for the Philadelphia Eagles. I saw somebody tweet that this is starting to look like the 2023 season. And my problem with that is you're paranoid. That person is paranoid. We're 1 game in. There's no way I can compare a season to any other season after watching 1 game. It's emotional, it's overreactive, and it's rage baiting. And it's annoying. 1 game happened, and everybody wants to jump out the window on everything. It's the laziest thing in the world to me. It's the laziest thing in the world to me. 1 game, and people acting stupid. The Eagles are 2-time Super Bowl champions. They just came out of a Super Bowl season. They have more talent from last year stayed than left. And people want to act stupid. Like, it's annoying. It was a rivalry game. Week 1, where anything can happen. It was banner night, a lot of pressure. Jalen Carter gets ejected from the game. It completely obliterated your defensive game plan. Vic Fangio had to figure it out on the fly. Honestly, that delay helped the defense. Helped Vic Fangio figure out what he wanted to do. It also helped the Dallas defense, helped them figure out what they wanted to do. We saw them doing different things than they did the entire in that second half than they did the entire first half. So again, I can't sit here and overreact to 1 game. I can't. Perfect example, the Chiefs lost last night. The Chiefs lost to the Chargers in Brazil. Am I sitting here saying, oh man, the Chiefs, I don't know if they're going to get back? Let's see if Nick Wright keep that same energy with the Chiefs. Let's see if he keeps that same energy. Because the Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes, they're Super Bowl champions respectively. Let's keep that same energy. Chiefs lost last night. Are they not going back to the Super Bowl? Nonetheless, man, people overreacting to just every little thing, man. 1 game. I refuse to. especially knowing how 2024 went when that Eagles team started 2-2. Started 2-2. And they became what they became. This defense, this offense in week 1 is not going to be the same defense and offense in week 8, week 9, week 10, week 12. They're not going to be the same. They're going to be more buttoned up, more refined. Kevin Patullo is going to be more cemented in his position. You're going to see the creativity begin to flow. The creative juices are going to begin to flow. Yes, does he have to do a better, and I'm on a tangent right now, but yes, does he have to do a better job getting A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith involved? Yes, you do. It will happen. Fucking relax. One game. So getting back to the pass rush, getting back to Za'Darius Smith, I want to give you guys some context to what happened on Thursday because I was looking at some of the next-gen stats, right? And I want to show you guys something here. Let's bring this up on screen. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed. I know the text is kind of small, but I'm going to try to do it justice here. All right? I'm going to try to do it justice. Let me see if I can actually help out here. Let me see. All right. So I'm looking at these numbers here, right? These are the next-gen stats from the Philadelphia Eagles as it pertains to their performance from Thursday, right? And Zack, Baun, Reed, Blankenship, Quinyon, Mitchell, and Cooper DeJean led the team in snaps, right? Then Jihaad Campbell had 51 snaps. Jordan Davis played 50 snaps. Moro Jomo played 50 snaps. Nolan Smith 48. Andrew McCooper 46. So on and so forth, right? Now, I want to give some flowers out. So, Jesus Christ. Give me a second. There we go. Sorry about that, you guys. All right. So, in that game last night, the pass rushes. Jordan Davis and Moro Jomo led the team in pass rush attempts, right? And a lot of guys got pressure. Jalen Hunt led the team in pressures. He had 5 quarterback pressures. He had 5 pressures on 16 pass rush attempts. Nolan Smith, 4 pressures on 26 attempts. Josh Uche, 3 pressures on 15 attempts. Jordan Davis, 2 pressures on 30 attempts. Zach Baun, 1 pressure on 3 attempts. Patrick Johnson, 1 pressure on 5 attempts. And Moro Jomo, 1 pressure on 30 attempts. We need to see more from Moro Jomo. Moro Jomo needs to be better than what we saw, right? I do expect Moro Jomo to improve. I expect Moro Jomo to have a better performance in that game. I really, really do. But I want to give credit to Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis did a really good job in that game. And I think Jordan Davis, as a matter of fact, he led the Eagles in defensive stops, right? And stops is when you prevent the offense from generating a positive play. It's a positive play for the defense, and it counts against the offense's EPA. So Jordan Davis had 5 stops. Zach Baun had 4 stops. Jihaad Campbell had 3. McCooper had 3 stops. Nolan had 2 stops. You know, Jordan Davis had a really, really good performance. So, again, I bring all this up because what's standing out here is no sacks. No sacks, right? And look, sacks aren't the end-all, be-all, but you need to do a better job of getting home to the quarterback and finishing. And I think that's where Zadarius Smith comes in. And they did this without Jalen Carter. Again, no Jalen Carter. A lot of people are overreacting to that Eagles defense. You didn't have Jalen Carter in that game. Jalen Carter is your best defensive player. So you expect more out of a guy like Jalen Carter. You expect more out of everybody else. Again, Jalen Carter is going to bring the best out of everybody. He's going to bring the best out of everybody. And when Jalen Carter's not out there, other guys become compromised, right? Jalen Carter is the guy that's going to demand he's going to demand the double teams. He's going to demand the most attention. Teams are going to game plan for Jalen Carter, which is going to allow Jordan Davis to eat more. It's going to allow Moro Jomo to eat. Going to allow Nolan, Za'Darius Smith, Jalen Hunt. It's going to allow guys like Byron Young. All those guys are going to eat. I saw promising things from Byron Young. I saw promising things from Uche. I think your edge rusher rotation is Nolan Smith, Jalen Hunt, Zadarius Smith, Josh Uche. That's your rotation right there. That's your rotation. D tackle, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Moro Jomo, Byron Young, Gabe Hall. Byron Young played more snaps than Gabe Hall. I told people the Byron Young is going to be a good player for the Eagles. Let him ramp up some more. So again, I think we need to monitor our concerns when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles defense. I think the Eagles are going to be just fine. I think Zadarius Smith is going to bring much needed juice to the cookout. You feel what I'm saying? He's going to bring much needed energy to that room. Again, an OG, a professional pass rusher, knows how to get to the quarterback. He's been productive no matter what scheme or team he's been on. Zadarius Smith is not scheme dependent. He's not scheme dependent whatsoever. This guy, like I said, 9 sacks in the 2024 season, 5 sacks in Cleveland, 4 in Detroit. He had 10 sacks in Minnesota. He had 12.5 sacks in 2020 for Green Bay, had 13.5 sacks in 2019 for Green Bay, 8.5 sacks for Baltimore in 2018. He can get to the quarterback. So you pair that with Jalen Carter and what he does with Zadarius Smith and Nolan Smith. I think this pass rush, I think this Eagles defense is going to be fine in the macro. They're going to be fine in the macro. I think what separates this situation from the 2023 season is you got better leadership, especially on defense. You have a guy in Vic Fangio who knows how to make adjustments. You have a guy in Vic Fangio who truly understands his personnel. Like, we got to keep this in mind, too. I know this gets overlooked, but here's the cold reality. Yes, we gave up 20 points to the Cowboys in the first half. We shut them out in the second half. Shut them out. We shut them out. Now, could we say that was the rain delay? Cool. The rain delay helped defense, both defenses, and it hurt both offenses. But at least the Eagles were able to drive down the field. But granted, their score happened. That field goal happened prior to the delay. So context does matter. That field goal, that 58-yard field goal by Jake Elliott occurred prior to the delay, which gave the Eagles a little bit of breathing room, making it a touchdown game instead of a field goal game. If Jake Elliott doesn't make that 58-yard field goal prior to the delay, the score is 21-20. And the Dallas Cowboys can move the ball, and all they need to do is get in field goal range. That completely changes how the Cowboys play. That completely changes how they try to move down the field. That changes their level of aggressiveness. So Jake Elliott kicking that 58-yard field goal gave the Eagles the proper amount of breathing room. The Cowboys needed a touchdown rather than just a field goal to take the lead. And that Eagles defense shut them out in the second half. That has to count for something. Now, did CeeDee Lamb drop like 2 or 3 passes in the second half? Did CeeDee Lamb become a liability? Did he miss some pretty crucial catches? He did. But guess what? It's the NFL. Things happen. Either you made the play or you didn't. I'm not going to discount what the Eagles did because CeeDee Lamb couldn't do his job. Week 1 is all about execution. Week 1 is all about fundamentals. Because again, you're still trying to figure out who your team is. You're still trying to figure out what you are. So at that point, again, I can't take away what that Eagles defense did because CeeDee Lamb dropped some passes. That's on them, not on the Eagles. Simple as that. So again, you guys, like I said, this stream wasn't going to be too long. This stream's only supposed to be maybe a half an hour to 45 minutes. So we're going to begin to close the show. Like I said, I do have a tight schedule today. I just wanted to tap in with you guys and really just check the temperature and just see how you guys are feeling. I really do appreciate you guys locking in the way you guys did. Before I go, just want to give you guys some quick updates here when it comes to Eagles roster changes. Ben Van Sumeren is out for the season. He's been placed on IR. The Eagles decided to waive guard Quinyon Green, and the Eagles also released off-ball linebacker Antoine Powell-Ryland, and they signed wide receiver Javon Baker to their practice squad. Javon Baker, 6'1", 202 pounds, was, let's see here, drafted by the New England Patriots in the 4th round. He's only been in the league for 1 season. He is 23 years old. Went to Alabama and went to the University of Central Florida. Javon Baker, he led the Big 12 with 1,139 receiving yards and averaged 29.9 yards per reception in his final season. And his rookie year, he played in only 11 games and only had 1 catch. So he really wasn't used by the New England Patriots. But nonetheless, the Eagles add more wide receiver depth to their team, to their practice squad. And we'll see what happens in the end. Right now, I love the Eagles wide receiver depth, and I think they'll be fine there as well. So again, you guys, put the overreactions to bed, put all that stuff to the side, right? I know we're concerned about the cornerback 2 position. Let me read these super chats real quick before I go. Let me see here. Michael McClain says Smith plus Carter equals pressure. Great signing. I agree, Michael. I agree with you 100%. Miss Fanny with the super chat says Nolan's sack should have counted. Penalty screwed it. Absolutely, man. Alex with the super chat says I'm calm, but Eagles have to find a way to beat zone. I think they will. 24 Birds with the super chat says I'm more concerned about Patullo running this offense. Running Saquon up the middle every first down and 1 target to A.J. Brown is intolerable. I do agree with that, but again, that delay, I personally think the delay screwed up both offenses. I really do. And then Landon Dickerson goes down with an injury. I am with you though. I want to see more outside zone runs. I want to see more of that. I want to see the Eagles utilize their tackles more in their run game. I want to see the Eagles attack the edges way more in the run game. I wasn't a fan of the inside runs either. And again, you got to do a better job of getting A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith involved. Like I said, it's 1 game. He's a new OC. He played a very conservative game. He played a very, very measured game, right? There were moments where I kind of felt like he was playing not to lose, but I think he'll be better. I think Kevin Patullo is going to look at the film, is going to see a lot of the food he left on the table, and I think he's going to do a better job of getting guys involved. Again, A.J. Brown was not open. I watched the film. He was not open. He wasn't. So we gotta accept that part of it too. A.J. Brown did not win his routes. So it's straight like that, you guys. And I think A.J. Brown would be better. It's 1 game. I'm not going to overreact to anything. I'm just not. So I appreciate you guys for locking in. I appreciate y'all for smashing that like button. I appreciate y'all for just being constant supporters of the channel and the show. I do not take it for granted, not 1 bit. I've been your humble host, Tone DeShields II. And you guys have been locked in on your dose of Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to trust to the game.